Just sit right back and hear them tell the tale of a broadcast crew who gather around their mighty drink to give their point of view. As man is the panel fire, he shows that he has fun, and Donny, our host, will jump along, guiding us through the storm, guiding us through the storm. Big T's our rock, he keeps us true, he often gets his say, and just alive he knows the girls will everything Dragon's way, and everything Dragon's way. The Mad Dragon podcast is a journey unforeseen, with Tasman and Donny to the moon, and there's Big T and Coco, just the start, Mazda and the other crew, here on the Mad Dragon podcast.
Well, good evening all. We're here for the second NRLW game of season 2025, and what an opening we did have last night, where we saw the big improvers of last year, the Parramatta Eels stunning the last year's grand finals, the Cronulla Sharks, 18-16, and an absolute thriller. No one would have seen that coming, Scoop.
Oh, definitely not. It was a good game that I heard about.
Yeah, to go to Shark Park and do that without two of their best players in Mahalia Murphy and Kennedy Cherrington, to beat the Sharks at Shark Park to open the campaign. Very good start to their season, and they played a lot of tough football there, the Eels, and they look like they set for a big year.
I think they are too. What I've seen is they have a lot of try scoring opportunities in them, and Cronulla are kind of a good defensive side in the comp for the women to start off with.
Yeah, but Parramatta to beat them down at Shark Park, that's a real statement, and Rachel Pearson was at the forefront of that. Abby Church was some standouts, but enough about that game. We'll get into the game we're covering tonight. So the Bulldogs, welcome to the NRLW for them, Scoop. It's they're the newest team in the comp, and as we see on screen now, Tegan Dimmick actually debuted with the Dragons a few years back, but the daughter of Bulldogs legend Jim Dimmick, she'll become the second generation to represent the Bulldogs.
I was surprised to hear when the Dogs was announced to be one of the new team. Well, new team joined the women's competition, with the New Zealand Warriors returning after a brief hiatus due to something that we have all gone and been through, COVID. That's in the past now, and it's good to see the New Zealand Warriors back in the comp. But welcome to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's right. And then we'll see them in action against it's a new look Newcastle Knights. They've lost a few players, notably Tameka Upton and Hannah Southwell, who has joined us at the Dragons. Another family flavour there for the Bulldogs as well. Pani Hopawati, you may remember her brother Will played for the Bulldogs as well. So a bit of a family connection for the Bulldogs tonight.
Oh, definitely. I think most of these players for the Bulldogs are making either their first grade debut or making their club debut for the Bulldogs this weekend against the Newcastle Knights.
The Newcastle Knights, yeah, it's a new look team, as we said. Tameka Upton's gone back to the Broncos. Hannah Southwell's back at the Dragons. Yasmin Clydsdale, the New South Wales back row, she's the new skipper. How do you think the Newcastle Knights will fare this season?
It all depends on this one young player in the number 7, Jesse Southwell, who's the last remaining Southwell in the Newcastle Knights. It will be interesting to see how she'll guide this new look Newcastle side in the comp.
Yep, well, they did sign a replacement for Tameka Upton, and that is Bo Betty Walsh, the former New South Wales and Gillaroos fullback, coming from the Tigers. A big shoes to fill, but Bo does bring a bit of experience there, and Jesse Southwell will be ready to go after a huge Origin campaign for the Blues.
Oh, definitely. She was impressive in the Origin campaign earlier this year. Jesse, she was setting up tries left, right, and centre, and I think it was also her first State of Origin series win, I think, as well, I believe.
That's correct, yes, and yeah, she'll be keen to with the departure of, I said, as Tameka Upton, she'll be taking on more responsibility, and then she's another year older. I'm looking forward to see her get better, and she'll be around for a long time, no doubt about that.
Oh, definitely. apparently a lot of people are naming her the next Andrew Johns of Newcastle, but for women's side of the comp.
Yep.
Jesse Southwell.
Yep. Before we get into the game, it's just 5 minutes till kick-off at a core stadium in Sydney. So this is the pre-game before the NRL game. The Bulldogs will be taking on the Brisbane Broncos, and the NRL game kicking off at 8 o'clock. But the Knights, take us through how the visitors will line up.
So lining up for the Newcastle Knights, Jesse. So at fullback, like what you said, Brodie for the Welsh comes in for the departed Tayla Preston. You're on the wings, you got Sheridan Gallagher. Yeah, and on the other side of the field, Lillian White. Yeah, in the centres, you got Shanice Parker. Yeah, and Tanika Wilson. And in the halves, you got Georgia Roach and Jesse Southwell. In the forwards, in the prop position, is Taylor Preston, yeah, and Tiana Davison. Yeah, in the hook and roll, you got Joelle Morris. And then in the second row, Jolie Morris. And then in the second row, you got, Eva McEwen, I think it is.
Yep.
The captain in the number 12, Yasmin Clydsdale. Her captaincy debut for the Knights. And then locking the scrum is Kayla Romanak. And then on the bench, you got Jules Kirkpatrick lining up as the utility role, number 14. In the number 15, you've got Simone Kapani. In the 16, you got Sienna Yo. I think she's related to Isaiah Yo.
Coming from the Steelers system.
So that's a huge loss for us, but we lost one of our juniors. And then
debut.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for that, Jesse. And then rounding out 17, you got Grace Gutai. Yeah, and then for 18th lady or man, or however you want to pronounce it now these days, you got Jess Staines. I'm not sure if she's related to the Forbes Ferrari from the
Charlie.
The Forbes Ferrari from the. I think she might be related to Charlie Staines. So that rounds the Knights lineup for tonight. Jesse, over to you, mate.
Yep, and they're coached by Ben Jeffries. The Bulldogs, so this is, as we touched at the start, this is their first ever game in NRLW. So welcome them to the competition. Their team at fullback are Andy Robinson. Hardly played at all last year due to injury. On the wings are Bridget Hoy and Adi Vanu Balecki. In the centres, there's a lot of debutantes on show, as you touched on there before, Scoop. We have Samina Lokatui and Moana Tauaneai. A very good halves pairing here. Ash Quinlan, the Kiwi Ferns international, alongside Tayla Preston, the grand final halfback for the Sharks last year. She's the co-captain. The front row the forward pack is very good. Teakaaranga-Katoa, the former Dragon, a huge loss for the Dragons this year. She's the other co-captain for the Bulldogs. As we mentioned before, Tegan Dimmick, daughter of Canterbury legend Jim Dimmick, she'll line up in the front row. Shaquila Mahakitau Monshao, she comes off the bench. She'll start a hooker in jersey 14. In the back row, it's Alexis Tauaneai, another ex-Dragon that has departed. Another huge loss. Was joint player of the year with the Dragons, with Teakaaranga-Katoa last year. Letitia Smythe, the Fijian international, the other back row, and Holly Wheeler, the veteran, locks the scrum. Off the bench for the Bulldogs tonight. So Ebony Pride drops back. She's in jersey 9. Shanice Monshao, Shannon Muru, another Tongan international, and Kalosapani Hopewadi. It's Hopewadis everywhere. And after 3 years at the Roosters, she's jumped ship to the Bulldogs. And the 18th player for the Bulldogs tonight, it's another Steelers junior in Hope Millard. And they're coached by Braden Williami as the Bulldogs run onto the field. A big moment for them, their first ever game. And, yep, what a moment to do it before the men's game.
I'm not sure about you, Jesse, but I've got the Newcastle Knights running now onto the field now.
All right, sounds like you're a bit behind mine.
But not too much, hopefully.
Anyway, it looks like we're just about ready to go. To have your comments a bit like just have some comments when you do get to see the footage. All right.
Yep.
All right. And the referee is Ziggy Brzeska Adamski.
And the senior review official is Matt Nguyen.
Kickoff about to start at a core stadium. And Tayla Preston will kick us off, the inaugural NRLW co-captain for the Bulldogs. And we're underway at a core stadium, the Bulldogs and the Newcastle Knights. And the Knights welcome back Tiana Davison after a year at the Roosters. And she takes the first run of the game. So we continue on, and the Knights taking up with their first set. It is with Jolie Morris at dummy half. And she gets the ball away. That's Yasmin Clydsdale with the ball for the Knights. In fact, it was Ava McEwen. And here they continue on. That's Romanak. Romanak continues on for the Knights. And here they go again. That's Davison again, her second run in this set. Last tackle for the Newcastle Knights. Morris to Southwell. Southwell goes to the sky. A bit of spin on the ball. But that's Bulecki. Her first touch of the ball in NRLW, and she runs it back. The Bulldogs, their first set ever. Quinlan's a dummy half. Their first set of the ball. Here they go. It's with Andy Robinson. Andy Robinson just takes it over the 20. Met there by Predabon, Romanak, and Davison. That's Tauaneai. First run in Bulldogs colours. Playing on an unfamiliar role at the edge. Played most of her, all of her footy with the Dragons as a middle forward as Tayla Preston gets the kick on the last. And Betty Welsh in her first game in Newcastle colours. Her fifth club. Stints with the Roosters, Eels, Dragons, Tigers, now the Newcastle Knights. As Southwell from dummy half finds... That's Shanice Parker who takes it up for the Knights. Southwell, the dummy half again. Here's Gallagher. Gallagher runs into Tayla Preston. Moana Tauaneai helps bring her down. Morris is the dummy half, the former Roosters utility. Here's Clydesdale, the new skipper. Fourth tackle now for the Knights. She'll play it back to Morris. Morris, here's Romanak. Romanak to Southwell. Southwell look forward to Ava McEwen. The referee has let it go. It's Morris. Last tackle to Southwell. Southwell goes to the sky. And Bulecki does well there. First tackle for the Bulldogs. Quinlan. Here's Robinson. And Robinson driven into the ground. They work it out of their own end. And that was Lokatui taking it up for the Bulldogs. Now here's the debutante, Mahakitau Monshao. She'll play it back to Preston. Preston gets it away to Teakaaranga-Katoa. And she's met by Romanak, and Predabon. Last tackle for the Bulldogs. Monshao finds Preston. Preston kicks the ball for the 40. But it's straight down the throat there of Sheridan Gallagher. And Sheridan Gallagher runs it back. Good strong carry from the Newcastle Knights winger. As the Knights walk it away, Eva McEwen. A family affair it is tonight too. Eva McEwen and her brother actually play first grade football for the Newcastle Knights. Jermaine McEwen, another back rower for the Knights, made his NRL debut this year. As Morris finds Davison, Southwell to Rosh. It's been played out there by Bridget Hoy. It should be 6 to go for the Knights. And the Knights will get 6 again. It's been played out there by Bridget Hoy. No need for that one. And the Knights will get a golden opportunity here.
Well, I've just got a knock on by the Bulldogs now, Jesse.
Yep, that's just about right. So what do you make of that? No need for that one. The Knights get a golden opportunity to get their account open.
I think it's a good opportunity by Newcastle. They're packing the scrum now.
And Georgia Rosh, the English international, will feed it as Morris gets it away to Tanika Willison, the former Rugby 7 star. and she's brought down there by Bridget Hoy.
Yeah, I know, because I can't, because the height.
And here they go. Clydesdale, the skipper, runs it over. She's met the attention of 4 Bulldogs defenders. She plays it back to Morris. She's covering for Olivia Higgins, who was suspended in that trial game when they win over the Canberra Raiders in that trial match a couple of weeks ago. Romanak plays it back. Morris straight to Predamon. She'll be hard to stop from here, but the Dogs do well. Tayla Preston will play it just short of the line. The Knights can get their first try of this new season. Southwell, she's dropped it. And she's filthy with that one. A blown opportunity there for the Knights, and Jesse Southwell shakes her head there. You're on mute.
Full dummy half service by Knights number 9 to Jesse Southwell.
Yep. So the Dogs survive, and the Knights will be ruining that missed opportunity there to post early points. 5 minutes gone, no score, Bulldogs and the Knights.
Bulldogs with a 100% completion rate so far, 2 from 2.
As here's Monshire, here's Tauaneai, the ex-Jag and Scoop.
Oh, I can't believe that we've let it go.
But watch her sister in action tomorrow. She'll be making her NRLW debut off the bench. Big moment for her. Jersey 16 tomorrow, Kennedy, Tauaneai. If you haven't seen the reaction from Coach Nathan Cross telling her the news, go to the Dragons website and check it out. It's very good viewing.
Yeah, or look out on our socials. We might have it up there for you lot to see.
As Teakaaranga-Katoa plays it, his Monshire gets it away to Tayla Preston, who goes to the sky. Betty Welsh takes it on the full, her former teammate, gets it away to Lillian White.
And
the
good defense
for the Knights last year. And Tauaneai takes her down. Rosh finds Willison. And brought back there by Wheeler and Mahakitoa Monshire. Rosh, dummy half, Southwell. Here's Gallagher. Actually spent the off-season playing for the Newcastle Jets in the Women's A-League competition. So she's a bit of a dual sportswoman, I should say. As Romanak gets tackled on the 40. Morris finds Predabon. Handful there for them. Last tackle coming up for the Knights. She plays it back to Morris. Morris finds Jesse Southwell, and she'll kick down the ground and taken on the full there by the Fijian Adi Balicki.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of women players coming into the NRL system from other code sports. We had some from soccer, rugby. Even I've heard some rumors about some players coming from cricket as well too now.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of Warriors that, as you said before, they're returning to the competition for the first time since 2020, and yeah, they'll have a lot of rugby players there. One name to watch out for definitely is Michaela Brake, member of that rugby sevens team for New Zealand. Played alongside the likes of Tyler King and Stacey Walker. Tyler King now at the Sharks, and Gal Broughton at the Broncos. As Tayla Preston goes high on the last for the Dogs. They've let the ball bounce. But Betty Welsh has got there, and she just manages to stay on the field of play by the skin of her teeth. As Gallagher runs it out of dummy half. Tegan Dingett brings her down. Southwell finds Parker. Parker to Lillian White. And Lillian White will play the ball back to Jesse Southwell. Southwell at dummy half. That's Rosh. Rosh away to Willison.
Oh.
He's thrown it into a Bulldog. And that'll be play on, you'd think, for the Bulldogs there. No need for that pass. But Yasmin Clydsdale not happy with that. She's going to challenge this. Do you think she has a case here, Scoop?
I think she does, because it was offered. Apparently it was a no knock-on from the Bulldogs, but I think one of the Bulldogs stuck the hand out to hit the ball down onto the ground. So I'm thinking it's a knock-on against the Bulldogs. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens here.
So here's the replay. Willison tries to offload the ball to Clydesdale, who was waiting for the ball. It looks like it is played at by Bridget Hoy as we take another look. Bridget Hoy played a couple of games at the Brisbane Broncos.
Well,
has
no,
come
it
off
hit her
Bridget Hoy.
forearm. It hit her forearm. It didn't. It doesn't look like it's hit her hand, Jesse. It looks like it hit her forearm. By the looks of it. Yeah, it came off the forearm of the Bulldog.
Let's have a look on what the bunker have to say on this one. As the Bulldogs and Knights players wait for the decision from the bunker, and you can see Jared on screen as well. Good to see the Bulldogs men there supporting the girls in their first ever game, Liam.
Oh yeah, it's good to see that. Oh, hang on. Different view. It came off the chest now.
So what's the decision? Challenge successful, so Newcastle will get the ball.
That is very surprising, because by the looks of it, Jesse, it came off the Bulldogs just before it hit the arm. So it was a bit hard to tell what actually happened. So the Knights get the scrum now.
That's Morris to Southwell, Southwell to Shanice Parker, and the Kiwi Fern will take it over the 40-metre line. And that's with Gallagher now for the Knights. They win that challenge. They keep their challenge as well. So Morris at dummy half finds Predabon, the leader of this pack now for the Knights. Morris. Here's Romanak. Romanak finds Davison. Wherever she's been, she's had success. 2-time premiership winner. Newcastle in 2023. Now won a premiership with the Roosters last year, and has returned home to the Knights this year as Lillian White runs away down the touchline, taken there by Bridget Hoy. Tegan Dimmick comes in late to help her out, and she'll play it back to Willison. Willison to Roche. The Englishwoman will kick, and it's straight down the throat of
and a good take by the Bulldogs.
And that is Bilecki working it out of their own end. Been pretty safe in her NRLW debut as Quinlan, another Kiwi Fern international in this game tonight. And what a tackle there by Predabon. Puts Moana Courtenay on her back. Here's Andy Robinson. She's still going, Andy Robinson. Lillian White eventually brings her down with the help of her sipper in Yasmin Clydsdale. Here's Mahakito Monshao. Now Tauaneai and Angelina Teakaaranga-Katoa gets the legs pumping, and another strong carry from her. She'll play it. Mahakito Monshao to Tauaneai. And Morris gets her as well as McEwen and Romanak. Last tackle coming up for Canterbury. Tauaneai will play it back to Mahakito Monshao. To Preston. Preston goes to the sky. And
a good tag by Newcastle.
Gallagher. As Wheeler brings her down with the help of Letitia Smythe, another debutant in this Bulldog side, a Fijian international, as Parker met there by Smythe and Wheeler, the veteran.
Jesse Southwell coming out from dummy half, past it.
Betty Welsh with the run there for the Knights. Southwell, here's Romanak. Romanak gets over the 40, offloads to Davison. Davison to Southwell. Southwell to Roche. Now it's Clydesdale. Clydesdale gets it away to Willison. Willison gets over the halfway line. And Moana Courtenay brings her down. That's Lillian White at dummy half. Roche to Clydesdale. Clydesdale straight into Tayla Preston. Breaks free of her tackle. And that meets to Tegan Dimmick, I think it was.
Fifth and last tackle.
Morris to Southwell. Southwell goes to the sky. Some weight on this kick. Juggled by
what Andy a take.
Well.
What a take by Bulldogs, Jesse.
Yep, Andy Robinson, her first game at the back. In her NRLW career so far, she's mainly played as a winger or centre in her time at the Dragons and the Sharks. And the Bulldogs will work it out of their own end. And that's with Lokatui. Here's Letitia Smythe. many of these players too from the Bulldogs have graduated from the Harvey Norman Women's Premiership sides. It looked like it was a knock on there by Dimmick.
Nah, she managed to the ball before it touched the ground.
Not a great pass there from dummy half. Will they get to the kick? Tayla Preston scrambling. She'll eventually get to it. Oh, an awful end to the set there from the Bulldogs, but recovered there by Tayla Preston's kick. As Sheridan Gallagher runs it back for the Knights. It did look like a knock on there from Dimmick.
Well, by the looks of it from here, Jesse, it looks like the ball hit the ground
been
first.
Hammered by Tauaneai. As Davison makes the carry. Quinlan brings her down with Smythe. Morris is the dummy half. And it's been ruled forward from Morris to Eva McEwen. And it's been a pretty much stop-start game as the Bulldogs are high-fiving here, Liam.
Who was surprised to see the Bulldogs firing out in their first ever NRLW game this year, Jesse? Especially in the comp. They're defensively, they're good. Attacking, they're a bit scrappy. But once the game goes on more and the competition goes, I reckon the Bulldogs are a real threat in their debut season.
Yep, got some good players there. Like as you saw on screen just before, Holli Wheeler. She's done it all in the game. Played for the Blues. Played for the Gillaroos. Has played in 3 grand finals in her time at the Dragons and the Sharks. As Tauaneai makes the charge. 25 out from the line. The Bulldogs get their best chance of the game yet. Here's Wheeler. Wheeler gets it to within 15 metres of the line. Can they post their first ever point in NRLW? She'll play it back to Mahakatai Monchau. The cutout pass from Quinlan straight on the throat of Lokatui. And it's been knocked on there by Ash Quinlan. And they've blown that, the Bulldogs, as Sheridan Gallagher has it for the Knights. She offloads it to Vetty Welsh. And Vetty Welsh dragged that there by Teakaaranga-Katoa and Tauaneai.
Offload.
Sorry, Wheeler got the offload away to Davison. Davison tries to get the arm free, can't do it. And she'll play it back to Jesse Southwell. She finds... Who's that that's on now? It looks like it's a new player on now for the Knights. That's Simone Kapani now on in jersey 15 for the Knights. Jesse Southwell shows and goes. Here's Rosh. Here's Lillian White. Tries to get rid of Bridget Hoy. She brings her down with the help of Shannon Muru, who's now on for the Bulldogs in jersey 16. Another player on debut for the Knights, Jules Kirkpatrick, jersey 14. Just over the 40, the Knights. She plays it back to Rosh. Rosh finds Clydesdale. Clydesdale gets over the 30. Tries to get the arm free and the offload away. Can't do it. 4th tackle for the Newcastle Knights. Kirkpatrick. Here's Rosh. Rosh the show and go. Rosh, the English woman. She'll go over.
And she...
The Knights get the first try of the game. The English woman scores for the Knights.
I think it's her debut game too as well this year, Jesse, for the Newcastle Knights.
No, this is her 3rd season in the NRLW.
What
and
a good show and
go with it too.
Yeah, good. They're trying to encourage men and women's team this month to do a celebration because it's Try July to raise awareness for
cancer.
Not brain cancer, it's for cancer, I think.
Yep, Sportsbet are putting $5,000 for every try celebration towards cancer. So, and hopefully the Dragons, would it be nice if Christian Tuipulotu was playing tomorrow and this whole month? We'd be loving him to show us the money.
Oh yeah, definitely, Jesse. It's a shame. Hopefully our boys play well tomorrow. Same as the young girls tomorrow for us as well.
Hopefully they get in on some try celebrations, both our teams, and get in on all the action as the Knights post the first points of the game. And it is Georgia Rosh, the English woman, Liam. Very good show and go. Absolutely fooled the Bulldogs' defence.
Yeah, by the looks of it, the Bulldogs, the the blue and white sea has parted open for Georgia Ross to do a show and go and run through and score the try.
And they're hailing the new captain as part of the try celebration, all the Knights players, as Jesse Southwell lines up the conversion and she's nailed it.
Straight
and we've
through
got
the
our first
black
points of the game. 18 minutes gone. It is 6-0 to the Newcastle Knights. What are your thoughts on the game so far?
It's just, at the beginning, it was a stop and start with get errors and penalties. Well, I don't think there was penalties, but mostly errors from both sides of the teams. But once when they picked up, and it's just been amazing. Great defensive end from the Bulldogs, and great attacking from the Newcastle Knights, and so on, so on. So I think it's been a really good game so far, Jesse.
Yep, and we will get to some Dragons games throughout the season as well. So won't be able to do tomorrow's, but we will get to some on throughout the year. That's for sure. So don't just think we're not going to do Dragons games. There will be Dragons games when we can get around to it, as the Knights work it out from the try score from the after the first set after the try with Davison. Kirkpatrick finds McEwen, one of the standout rookies for the Knights last year, as Kirkpatrick finds Romanak to Southwell. Southwell finds Roche. Here they work way down this left side again. Willison finds White. Lillian White is away for the Bulldogs. 6 to throw for the Knights. And she eventually gets it away. George Roche has to dive on it. They nearly blew that. Third tackle for Newcastle. Plays it back to Willison. Willison to Clydesdale. And Clydesdale gets past Preston. Dragged down there by Teakaaranga-Katoa and Ebony Pryor, another new recruit for the Bulldogs. He's on now in jersey number 9, coming over from the West Tigers. Romanak with the ball now for the Knights. They're 20 out from the line on the last tackle. Kirkpatrick finds Southwell, the show and go. Here's Eva McEwen, and she'll be tackled on the last. Decided to test their arm there. The Knights didn't come off, and the Bulldogs knew what they were up to.
Oh, definitely, Jesse. I was going to say, just a pause on the women's. I'm just looking at the Dragons feed Raiders lineups for tomorrow. There's been some changes in our squad for tomorrow, Jesse, but we'll have a look at that during half time.
Yep, as the Bulldogs with it. It's with Tauaneai, the former Dragon. Apparently, the better sister though is making her debut tomorrow. We'll see how good she is and see what she's got on the NRLW stage. As Pryor finds Wheeler, gets over the 40 for the Bulldogs. Last tackle for him. Pryor finds Preston. Preston kicks with a bit of spiral on it, and it's well taken there by Lillian White. The Knights holding firm at this point in the game. Lillian White looks to be in some trouble there, in some discomfort. And the referee's ruled an incorrect play of the ball.
No. Yeah, Bob Curran's funeral next Thursday.
Yeah, they are tucking down on that, aren't they, Scoop?
Oh, definitely, Jesse, yeah. It looks like she went to go play it and her foot completely missed touching the ball. So that's a good call from the referee.
As Wheeler, she tries to show and go, but she's dragged down there by Carpani and her opposite number, Romanak. Here's Pryor to Preston. Preston finds Quinlan, the former Eels halves duo. Here's Andy Robinson. Andy Robinson! She's held up over the line. So close to getting the first ever Bulldogs try.
Yeah, she was held up, Jesse.
Yasmin Clydsdale appealing to the referee about something there. How close was Andy Robinson to scoring there, Liam?
She was so close. If she would have got the ball down before and stuff, because by the looks of it, if she would have got that ball tipped to the ground, she would have been the first ever player for the Bulldogs to score in their premiership debut history.
As Teakaaranga-Katoa finds Wheeler. She can't be put down, but tackled there by Southwell, McEwen and Romanak. Pryor from dummy half doesn't know where to go. She's grubbed it, and it's pounced on by Gallagher just in the field of play as Pryor drags her down. Betty Welsh. Taken down there by Smythe with the help of Pryor. She plays it back to Southwell. Southwell to Shanice Parker. As you said before, the lone Southwell in this Newcastle Knights side, with Hannah Southwell, the former captain of the Knights, heading back to the Dragons in one of the big season transfers ahead of the 2025 season. As Clydesdale will run it up. The skipper. Taken down there by Muru. Preston comes over the top. Last tackle coming up for Newcastle. Clydsdale plays it back to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick to Jesse Southwell. Jesse Southwell with the kick. And it's a not. No, it was out
Down
on
the full.
Southwell.
Yeah, out on the full.
And she knows it too. Not like Jesse Southwell to get it wrong there, Liam.
Oh, definitely not Jesse. I think she's just under pressure at the moment because her halves partner in Georgia Roach is not helping, not doing much running of the ball at the moment. So it's just putting Jesse Southwell under a lot of pressure.
As the Bulldogs get the ball from that, as Ebony Pryor, she's twisted and slammed in the ground by Yasmin Clydsdale. And Pryor will play it back to Quinlan. Quinlan to Teakaaranga-Katoa. One of the two co-captains in this Bulldogs lineup. Pryor. Here's Preston. Preston to Smythe. And Smythe inching closer towards the goal line. Taken down there by McEwen. Here's Pryor. Finds Preston. Preston to Tauaneai. Tauaneai tries to break free. Carpani brings her down. Pryor. Here's Preston. Preston to Robinson. Robinson to Tauaneai. Comes into heavy collision with Willison.
She's lost the ball there, Jesse.
And it is a knock-on from Moana Courtenay. And the Knights fans and the Knights players do high
celebrate. She got up too quick.
It was Lily Ann White, in fact.
She got up too quick and she didn't get a chance to play the ball or have a good grip on it, and that's why she's lost the ball for the Bulldogs.
"11 minutes till half-time. It is the Knights 6, the Bulldogs 0.
Some more players coming off the bench for Newcastle, and just as they said for the Bulldogs, there's another two players coming on for their debut. They're in sister to Oseo and the cousin. I thought she was sister, but cousin to Oseo.
Yep.
And there's another player which is a Hopoati, I think is coming on now. No, hang on.
Knights do get a penalty. So Kirkpatrick will give it to Southwell. Looks like Southwell will kick the touch. A standout series for New South Wales. A well-deserved recall as well this year for her after being overlooked last year. Raider Williami, the Bulldogs coach. Parker finds Betty Welsh, and Betty Welsh runs over the 40. Tackled by Quinlan. She'll play it back to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick to Eva McEwen. Eva McEwen, member of the New South Wales under-19s just a few weeks ago. She'll play it back to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick finds Betty Welsh. Betty Welsh, and she's taken down on the 20. Can the Knights double their lead here? She'll play it back to Parker. Parker gets it onto Sienna Yo. Her first touch of the ball in NRLW. And she's within 10 metres of the line. Kirkpatrick, Southwell. Here's Rosh. Rosh looking for a double. Rosh coming so close. She's just 3 metres out from the line.
Fifth and last on the Bulldogs 5.
Kirkpatrick. Here's Southwell. Southwell will grub her. And Teakaaranga-Katoa scoops it up. And Andy Robinson with that knee heavily strapped up. She'll run it back. Taken down there by Kirkpatrick and Carpani. Plays it back to Preston. Preston finds... Who's that with the ball for the Bulldogs? It's Hoy. Just short of the 20. Preston's the dummy half. Here's Courtenay. Courtenay just taken short of the 30 for the Bulldogs. 9 minutes till half-time. And it is the Newcastle Knights leading by 6 points to 0. Here's Pani Hopewadi. Premiership with the Roosters last year. As Tayla Preston kicks it. Is she going for that 40-30? Tayla Preston.
What a save by Tayla Preston.
Doesn't quite get there, and Betty Welsh knew what she was up to, and the Knights hang on as Gallagher just didn't quite have the distance to go into touch there, Liam.
Oh, definitely not, Jesse. She would have been so close if the fullback for Newcastle Knights wasn't there to defend the kick.
As White will play the ball. Kirkpatrick. Here is Yo. And Yo, what a strong run from her, the debutante. 8 minutes till halftime. The Knights leading 6-0. Kirkpatrick. Here's Clydesdale. Clydesdale gets through Pryor. Popawati brings her down. Last tackle. Rosh. She grubbers it along the ground, but Bridget Hoy dives on the ball. And the Bulldogs don't seem to be going anywhere at this point in time as Tauaneai tries to get her out. Willison brings her down. Preston. Here it's with Lokatui, it looks like. It is Lokatui. Preston to Robinson. The former Sharks combined there for the Bulldogs. Plays it back to Pryor. Pryor gets it on the Teakaaranga-Katoa. Looked a bit high there from Yo, but the referee didn't see that. Pryor's the dummy half. Last tackle for the Bulldogs. Pryor goes to Tayla Preston, and Tayla Preston will kick it from inside the 40, and it will be allowed to bounce. Is that a knock on there from Lillian White? It is.
Yes, it is, Jesse. She is fuming at herself, Jesse. She thought she grounded the ball, but no, she knocked it on.
And the Bulldogs, again, will get a golden opportunity to level the game. And it wasn't a hard kick one to grab it.
No, she went
Tried
to grab
get it
it
with one hand.
with the one hand on the leg, and yeah, she completely lost it. So the Bulldogs have a golden opportunity to try and level the game with 6.5 minutes left of the first half.
Tayla Preston will feed it. Ebony Pryor at the back of the scrum, finds Quinlan. And Quinlan gets the Bulldogs to within 5 metres of the line. Pryor, here's Popawati. Popawati over the line. Has she got the first ever Bulldogs try? Pani
She is held.
Popawati.
They're going up to the bunker. I think she was held up, Jesse.
The big front row, very hard to stop that close to the line. We're going to the bunker.
She's held up there, Jesse.
Has she got it on any part of the turf here?
No, I think she's
Very
held
hard
up.
to see.
Alright, so 20 seconds.
You can't go against the referee's ruling here. You can't. There's no evidence to say that Hopewadi got the ball down.
No, it sure is held up, Jesse. You can see a Knights defender underneath the ball.
But it will be a play the ball on the 10.
We can get parking
On the second tackle, Hopewadi's already conceded it's a no try.
What we would think, so no, all good. Okay.
Big rugby league fan, you are the Hopewadis. As Tauaneai. Plays it back to Pryor. Here's Preston. Preston finds Andy Robinson. Andy Robinson this time gets it away to corner.
No, she's out. She's out.
In time.
No,
It
she's
is a
out.
try.
Jesse.
They've given it. And the Bulldogs have their first ever NRLW try, Liam.
No, I've heard legs touch the goalpost on the sideline. She's out.
The corner post is not out anymore. Many years.
Hold on.
What a pass, though, from Andy Robinson. Great effort to get that ball away.
Oh, I think I saw a little bobble there. Hang on, they're just replaying from the front.
What an offload here from Andy Robinson, though. 3 Knights defenders have her. What an effort. And here's Tauaneai. Let's have a look.
Oh, I think there's a little knock on there.
Well, the try has been confirmed by the bunker. And the Bulldogs are on the board in NRLW, Liam.
That is surprising. I thought there was a little bubble in the try scoring there, Jesse. Or the grounding, I mean, sorry.
Anyway. The bunker has given it. There's the replay again. No.
Oh, yeah, she's grounded it. She's grounded it. Her thumb was just on the ball when she grounded it, Jesse.
But what a moment for the Bulldogs.
First try, scored in the NRLW, Jesse, on their debut season. That is a good sight to see.
I'm assuming Tayla Preston will be taking over the kicking duties. Here she goes. Right on the touchline. Tayla Preston to level us up.
And waved
And
away
she
to the
shanked it.
left.
The Knights still lead 6 points to 4. 4 minutes to go till half time. But the Bulldogs are on the board. It was set up
That
by
was
that
a
wonderful offload from Andy Robinson.
Oh, definitely, Jesse. If that was a shank of a kick to the left that Tayla Preston went to kick.
Anyway, play about to restart. The Knights will get this back underway. There's the kickoff. And Andy Robinson finds Teakaaranga-Katoa. That's Hopewadi, in fact, sorry. And prize
4
the dummy
minutes to go.
Here's Tauaneai. Plays it to Pryor. Pryor finds Preston. Here's Muru, and Muru there by 3 Knights defenders in Willison and Clydesdale, and they drive her back to the 40. Preston, here's Teakaaranga-Katoa. Taken down there by Predabon and Yo with Kirkpatrick. Here's Hopewadi. Hopewadi.
Good run.
Gets the offload away to Quinlan. Here they go, the Bulldogs. A bit of razzle-dazzle here. Pryor gets to get the R3. Southwell brings her down and drags her back.
Should that be 6 again to the Bulldogs? Because Jesse Southwell.
Last tackle for the Bulldogs. Preston goes towards the right corner. Towards Lillian.
Oh, knock on
It's been knocked on by
Bulldogs.
Bridget Hoy. Willison comes up with it, but it'll be changeover coming the way of the Newcastle Knights.
Bulldogs
They just
never
use that
contested
range.
for that catch.
Less than 3 minutes to go till halftime. Clydesdale plays it back to Roche. Roche to Gallagher for the Knights. But a bit of razzle-dazzle play there from the Bulldogs. That's some exciting football.
Oh, definitely it is, Jesse.
Lillian White, 25 out from her own line. Roche is the dummy half. Finds Vetty Welsh. And the number 1 for the Newcastle Knights. Got some big shoes to fill this year with the departure of Tamika Upton back to the Broncos. Here's Predabon. Predabon, a strong run here from her. To Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick now to Yo. And Yo, heavy collision there with Letitia Smythe. Last tackle for the Knights. Kirkpatrick finds Southwell. Southwell will go to the air. Andy Robinson takes it on the full. And Andy Robinson's in the backfield. Andy Robinson is away for the Bulldogs. The former New South Wales under-19s representative. She is still going. Andy Robinson. Vetty Welsh eventually brings her down. But what a run from Andy Robinson, Liam.
Oh, definitely it was, Jesse. Can
Here
the
they go,
Bulldogs
the
now
Bulldogs.
go ahead?
Preston, Quinlan, Tauaneai. Brought down by Southwell and Yo. Second tackle. Can they get points here before half-time? Pryor to Quinlan. Quinlan's over the line, but she's
Held
put her
up.
back.
Hold up there, Jesse. It's going to be a 4th tackle to the Bulldogs. Taking back 10 meters.
How close did she go, though?
Oh,
Quinlan?
and on, they're
They are
going to the
going to the
bunker.
bunker. Let's have a look at the replay. He has Ash
She's
Quinlan
got the try there. She's got
It
the
looks
try,
like she
Jesse.
has.
The tip of the ball hit the ground. She's got the try there.
One of their big
Bulldogs are in
signings.
front.
One of their big signings, Ash Quinlan, making the move from the Canberra Raiders.
Yeah, she's got the try there, Jesse. That's the try to the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are out in front for the game.
And Ash Quinlan, what a moment. The
See,
Bulldogs will take the
wow.
lead.
Bulldogs take the lead, Jesse. That is impressive.
And the Bulldogs fans that are there early are up and about. 8 points to 6. And it's all set up by the run from Andy Robinson.
By the looks of it on TV, she looked really slow, but what a long range meter eater she is. Jesse.
And then Ebony Pryor, good service there. Ash Quinlan, she looked a bit doubtful, but she didn't give up and persevered and went herself. She backed herself and got there. Great solo try for Ash Quinlan. And the Bulldogs looks like they'll take the lead going into half-time in their first ever game.
I know she hasn't scored a try yet, but she's had a hand in absolutely everything. It's so good to see. And Ashley Quinlan finishing that one. That's right.
Jason, Ashley Quinlan related to Adam Quinlan, who
No.
used to play for the Dragons.
No. 28 seconds to go. Preston will add the extras, and the Bulldogs lead by 10 points to 6. Who saw that coming at halftime?
I don't think any of us did, Jesse. I thought the Knights have wrapped it up in the bag, but we'll just have to wait and see what second half brings upon us.
Yep. Bulldogs getting that first try, but the Knights getting that first try, but the Bulldogs have worked their way back into it and now take the lead going into halftime. Looks like they've got all the momentum. I don't think they'd want halftime to come, the Bulldogs.
Oh, definitely not, Jesse. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in the second half.
As the Knights get the play back underway, Preston gets it away to Teakaaranga-Katoa. And she's done a job in the middle. The co-captain for the Dogs, Pryor. Here's Preston. Preston and Tauaneai. Pryor. Here's Hopewadi. And that'll be half-time. And it is half-time in the Bulldogs' first ever game in NRLW. And they lead the Newcastle Knights by 10 points to 6, Liam. What a first half it's been from both sides. But the Bulldogs take the lead heading into the sheds.
What an impressive first half it is to the Bulldogs, Jesse. They were just defensively, they were strong. Attacking, they could do a little bit more, but otherwise, Jesse, they've got 10. They're up 4 points to 6 against the Newcastle Knights.
Yep. As we see the Bulldogs and the Knights players run off a core stadium. And they're thriving at the moment. The Bulldogs, they're on top of they're up there, right up there in the NRL comp. And yeah, a good moment for them getting their chance in the NRLW tonight.
Thank you, Marley. The Bulldogs creating history tonight. Their first match in the NRLW. We're not here for the victory.
Will they hold on for victory? Yeah, we'll find out in this second half. But we are a Dragons podcast, and we'll get into some news this week that we had our new coach Nathan Cross unveiling revealing the news to our newest debutante, who will be debuting tomorrow in Trinity Tauaneai. Let's have a look at that one. So this, for those who are home watching and they don't know, she's the younger sister of Alexis Tauaneai, who's in action in Jersey 11 for the Bulldogs in this game right now. This will be her debut game tomorrow.
Hello, Trinity.
Hey, boss.
Hello.
Hey. Great.
How do you feel like you've been going?
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Training's been great.
Training's been good. What about you, though? How do you think you've been going?
I'm still trying to find the lane.
Yeah. Are you finding that a bit easier now?
Yeah, with Hannah,
Yeah.
With Hannah.
Has she been helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even if we're switching out and stuff, and I just ask her to push the ball when you put us yesterday.
Yeah.
The weekend,
Yeah.
I felt good with her. Like playing in the middle with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel confident with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be confident to play with her?
Yeah.
Would you be confident to play this week at Canberra with her? Because you're playing, kid. You're going to make your debut this week.
Really?
You sure are.
Really?
Congratulations, mate. You're going to make your debut. Yep. You are. You're in.
Really?
Yeah. Well done. You deserve it, mate. You deserve it. Sit down. Yep.
Really? Oh, my days, I've been saying what if all day.
I remember when I first met you at Steelers that day, and you said to me, I said, "Oh, Trin, you're Lex's sister." And you said, no, she's my sister. And I'm the best sister. And, mate, I've seen it. I've seen, Lex has proven herself. You're yet to do that. But I've seen your ability and your work ethic and your tenacity and everything we love about you. That's why we extended your contract, and you've got a big future here, mate. So
You should be proud of yourself. You should be really excited, and we're all super excited for you. All right. So you're going to come off the bench on Saturday, and we know you're going to do a good job. So congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Well done, mate. That's good.
You're on mute, Jesse.
They're great moments to see when a coach tells a player you're going to make your NRL or NRLW debut.
Oh, definitely it is, Jesse. It's good to see the Nathan Cross, the Beauty, one of our young bloods that came up through the system at the Steelers.
Yep, and it's going to be exciting to see how she handles the step up to NRLW tomorrow. We saw her in action in the Steelers New South Wales Women's Premiership last year. She was great for them, and yeah, she gets her chance tomorrow for the Dragons, and what will be her debut, the second Tauaneai sister to pull on the red V-Lamb.
Oh, definitely it is, Jesse. It's good to see another sister making their debut. Yep.
And yes, we'll talk about that game tomorrow. So we didn't have you on our podcast episode on Tuesday, but big task against the Canberra Raiders. Many are tipping to be a dark horse in the NRLW Premiership. What are your thoughts on the girls' chances going down to Canberra tomorrow?
Well, what I've heard from the high team this morning, Jesse, they said it's going to be a cold one down in Canberra, but I heard a lot of good raps on some of the girls that we got playing tomorrow, like the young Tony High sister, Casey Ray. She's been playing their number 6 jersey, which is good to see. It's good to see Bobby Law and Keely Brown playing in the centres. So it's supposed to be a good game. I've heard from one of the players today for tomorrow.
Yep, another one. You did mention there, Casey Ray. So she gets the crack at the 5'8" role, left vacant by Tyler King. Rookie of the year last year. Once again, a standout for the New South Wales under-19s. 2 years in a row, she's won Player of the Match awards. It'll be good to see her have that number 6 jersey all season and learn from a player like Racine McGregor, who's done everything in the game.
Oh, definitely, Jesse.
And how do you see Casey Ray now that she's entering her second year in the NRLW? How do you think she'll go now that she has the first shot at the number 6 jersey?
I hope she goes well because she is one of my favourite players to keep an eye on. I'm not sure if she's eligible. Oh, wait, no, she won Rookie of the Year last year. I just realised. I was going to say she's one to look out for Rookie of the Year, and then I just realised she won it last year. So I reckon she's the perfect fit for 6 till Racing McGregor gets on with age and Casey Ray can move into number 7 while they look out for another young number 6 coming through.
Yep. As we go through the first half highlights of this game, and Andy Robinson, she's been enormous. Nearly 150 metres in this game so far, in her first game at the back.
Oh, definitely she has been awesome for the Bulldogs.
And you look at the errors, 5 errors each, but the meters, they are in favour of the Dogs. Let's just bring up the stats at half time. So we'll bring that up and we can discuss that.
It's 50-50 for the session each way for the
completions are at 87 for the Bulldogs, 72% for the Newcastle Knights. And yeah, it's been pretty too many errors there from the Knights. They want to fix that up going into the second half. The Bulldogs, that's pretty good, 87% in this.
Oh, definitely is, Jesse. Bulldogs got 72 all runs for the game so far, while the Knights just edged them out by 78. Run meters, Newcastle has 838 to Bulldogs 784. Post-contact meters, Newcastle are winning by a smidge for 292 against 284. Line breaks, Bulldogs are definitely edging out for that for 4 line breaks to 1. Tackle breaks, Bulldogs are winning so far with 20 to 14 tackle breaks. The average set distance is Bulldogs around in front with 49.03, while the Knights have 46.57. And
Getting
Bulldogs,
to the missed tackles. The missed tackles, that's an alarming stat for the Knights. 20 missed tackles in that first half.
negative play, it's 5-4 for errors. Bulldogs conceded 1 penalty, and one on report.
Yep, but it's a game that's still in anyone's game at 10-6 at half time. Who do you like heading into the second half, Liam? Can the Bulldogs go on with it, or do you think the more settled Knights lineup come back into this one?
I'm going to go for an underdog here, Jesse. I'm going to go to Bulldogs to win by 12. I'm going for the underdogs.
So you think the Bulldogs? I think that the Knights will find a way. It would be good to see the Bulldogs get the win in their first game, but I think the Newcastle Knights experience in these big games might just get them home. Some class of Jesse Southwell might just steer the Knights home in a tight one, but no, a Bulldogs win though would not surprise me. That's for sure.
Well, there is some interesting news coming from our men's side for the game for tomorrow. There's been some changes in the lineup, Jesse. If you're happy for us to go through some of the changes for 24 hours.
Have a look into them. Well, Flano did say in his press conference today that there will be no unusual changes, so no one on debut. So anyone that was hoping that Jacob Halangahu would make his debut, that's not happening. Is it, Scoop?
Well, I wouldn't rule that out, Jesse, because you know what Shane Flanagan is like. He did the same to I think it was Nick Saragas.
Sagranis.
He didn't say that Nick Saragas was going to make his debut, and then like an hour to go for kickoff, he moved him into the 17. But for here so far, Raymond
Michael Molo will start on the edge.
Yeah, Raymond Fatala-Marin is being ruled out for the game, while Michael Molo starts on the edge. And
His
Blake
first game of the
Laurie.
year.
Yeah, and Blake Laurie and Filiame Fifita move onto the interchange bench for I don't know who was on the bench originally in the 16.
That was Hame Saleh.
So Hame Saleh's been dropped and Raymond Fatala-Marin has been dropped.
While Lachlan Ilias has been cut, and Raymond Fatala-Marin.
At the moment, what I'm hearing reports, Jesse, is I don't think we'll see Lachlan Ilias after this season. By all reports, it looks like he's going. I've got a gut feeling he's going to Canberra next year.
Yep, and we saw that news last night too. Toby Sexton going to the Catalans Dragons. Are you surprised that no NRL club has picked him up? I think he's too good for the Super League.
I was shocked when I heard the news early this morning. I think it was like 6 a.m. when it was announced when Toby Sexton is going to Catalans. Because there was reports coming out that Luke Keary was disgruntled at the Super League at the way that it's been handled. So I wouldn't be surprised. Give it in another few years' time, I reckon a lot more of the Super League, the lower tier teams of the English comp will get folded with financial crisis happening over there.
Anyway, we'll get back into this game as the Knights get back on the field, and the Bulldogs are about to come onto the field as well. Big second half coming up in the NRLW. Big 3 games tomorrow too. First, before we start proceedings for the second half, give us your tips for tomorrow's games in the NRLW. We've got the Broncos taking on the Tigers in the first of the 3 game tomorrow, Scoop.
I'm going to go Broncos.
Yep, I'm going to go with the Broncos as well. And then the Cowboys will be taking on the Titans in Townsville, the 5:15 game.
I'm going to go... I'm going to go Cowboys.
And then obviously the Dragons are going down to Canberra to take on the Canberra Raiders.
Also, I'm going
give us your thoughts on
Dragons.
that
I'm going
one.
Dragons.
In the tight one.
Yeah, Dragons in the tight one.
Anyway, we'll get underway at the second half. And the Bulldogs will get the first use of the ball. And running it back for the Dogs is Moana Courtenay. She's met there by Georgia Roche and Yasmin Clydesdale. Preston will find Teakaaranga-Katoa. I don't think she's had a rest yet. As we saw, she's got some long minutes in her time at the Dragons last year. As Hopewadi continues to set rolling for the Dogs. Pryor finds Tauaneai, and she's met there in a heavy collision. Gets the ball away. The offload to Pryor. Pryor to Teakaaranga-Katoa. Teakaaranga-Katoa. A good carry from her. It's a one-on-one strip from Tayla Preston. But it is a penalty going towards the Bulldogs. Was it tackle completed? But what a run there from Teakaaranga-Katoa. Yeah, tackle was completed. Bulldogs decline the opportunity to take the two. They're going for the try. Tauaneai will play the ball. Pryor, Preston. Here's Smythe. The Bulldogs can go into a potential double-digit lead here. Pryor, here's Tauaneai. She'll be hard to stop from here. Alexis Tauaneai is held up over the line. She'll go back to the 10 to play it. Pryor is the dummy half. Here's Teakaaranga-Katoa to Preston. Here's Muru. Muru steps inside. Shannon Muru still going. Shannon Muru is held up. Betty Walsh and Saf will get underneath her, as does Simone Kapani. Some desperate goal line defence there for the Newcastle Knights. Pryor the dummy half. Here's Hopewadi. Three Knights defenders bring her down. Last tackle for the Dogs. Pryor, Preston to Quinlan. Quinlan, the cutout pass to Bilecki. Bilecki. She attracts the attention of four Knights defenders, and that'll be the last tackle changeover coming the way of the Newcastle Knights. Gallagher will play it to Southwell, and Southwell finds that is Shanice Parker running it from her own end. Taken down there by Tauaneai and Bilecki. Here's Gallagher, the winger for the Knights. Met there by Muru and Hopewadi. Here's Willison. Willison gets over the 30 for the Knights. Tauaneai and Preston bring her down. Here's Kirkpatrick away to Georgia Roche. Georgia Roche driven into the ground there by Muru and Courtenay. Fourth tackle for the Knights. Here's Kirkpatrick. Now to Karpani, and she's met there in a crunching tackle. Hopewadi. Last tackle for the Knights. Kirkpatrick. Jesse Southwell. And it was a juggle there, but they've done well. And that's Bridget Hoy driven back. There by Tayla Preston. Quinlan gets the ball away to Lokatui. That's Preston. Now to Courtenay. And Courtenay driven into the ground by Yo and Kirkpatrick. On the 40-metre line now, the Bulldogs. Pryor's the dummy half. Here's Tauaneai again. And she's driven into the ground by Tayla Preston with the help of Simone Karpani. Pryor. Here's Hopewadi again. She's had a great impact off the bench for the Dogs in this game. Gets over the 40. The Knights appealing for a penalty. Sorry, for a lost ball. It is a penalty going the way of the Bulldogs. A strip when the tackle was completed. And Tayla Preston will kick for the sideline from the penalty. Bilecki The tap there from Lokatui. Here's Smythe, and Smythe driven into the ground with Yo and Karpani. That's with Teakaaranga-Katoa for the Dogs. Pryor is the dummy half. Gets the ball to Preston. Preston now to Robinson. Robinson to Tauaneai. It's been knocked on there by Bridget Hoy. Opportunity lost there for the Bulldogs. The Knights do hang on. And the Knights will get the ball. They'll play it. Kirkpatrick, here's Betty Welsh. Tauaneai brings her down with the help of Pryor. Kirkpatrick is the dummy half. Here's Willison. And the Bulldogs are there straight away to meet her in defence. Taken down by Preston with the help of Muru. Kirkpatrick at dummy half. She gets the ball away to Rosh. Rosh finds Clydesdale. Yasmin Clydsdale is a strong runner of the ball and a good support player as well. She will play it back to Rosh. Rosh to Gallagher. Gallagher gets those legs pumping, gets it over halfway for the Knights. Fourth tackle coming up for Newcastle. Kirkpatrick. Sloppy pass. And it's been pounced on by Letitia Smythe. Horrible service there from the Newcastle Knights. And it's play on for the Bulldogs. It's Hopewadi. Karpani brings her to the ground, as does Eva McEwen. They're 30 out from the line, the Dogs. Here's Pryor. Finds Tauaneai. And Tauaneai has no room to move there. Kirkpatrick does bring her down with the help of Karpani. Pryor. Preston. Preston to Smythe. And Smythe gets the offloads. Southwell drives her into the ground. Quinlan still got it for the Bulldogs. Got the offload away. Quinlan finds Tayla Preston. And Tayla Preston's brought down there by Kirkpatrick and Karpani. It's another 6 to go for the Dogs. And here's Teakaaranga-Katoa. Taken down by Predamon and Clydesdale. They're 2 metres out from the line. Can they extend the lead here, the Bogs? Here's Pryor to Hopewadi. Came so close to getting one in the first half. She's over the line again. But can't get the ball down. And she'll go back to the 10-metre line to play it. Here is Tauaneai on the second tackle for the Dogs. Kirkpatrick and Karpani wrap her up. That's juggle there from Preston. She got the ball away to Robinson. Here's Hoy. Hoy gets the offload to Andy Robinson. And it's been a rolled forward pass. Oh, the Bulldogs have blown another opportunity to go further in front. But definitely was a forward pass from Bridget Hoy to Andy Robinson. Bit of frustration and desperation there for the Bulldogs, but the Knights will be relieved.
In the second half, they just seem to be out enthusing the Knights, but one player the Knights are missing that really makes a difference in their side.
And Southwell finds, it's a juggle there from Parker.
2 weeks back, so they will definitely be wanting her for round 2.
That's Parker will play the ball, and it is a
penalty given away.
And Southwell will kick for the sideline. Calling for the ball. Gallagher's got it. Knights, can they set up to go in set up for points? As Parker takes it and runs it up. Takes the tap. Quinlan tackles her. Betty Welsh, the dummy half. Finds Eva McEwen, gets her over halfway. Strong carry there from the young back rower. Kirkpatrick's the dummy half. Yo finds Southwell. Southwell to Rosh. Rosh finds Willison. Has a Lillian White unmarked. Waits too late. It's been touched by Bridget Hoy, you'd have to think. The referee will say play on. So it is Bulldogs ball as Muru has it. She's driven into the ground by Yo. Kirkpatrick comes in late too. Pryor awaits at dummy half. Finds Tauaneai. Now Teakaaranga-Katoa. She gets over for 30. Prize the dummy half. Tauaneai, her second run in this set, gets over the 40. Prize waiting at dummy half. Here's Hopewadi. There's a penalty for the Bulldogs, all offside the Newcastle Knights.
Penalty here, 10 metres, girls. Hopewadi. Looks horrific off the bench. Go 10. Down to you, Millie.
Just wanted to give a shout out to the blue shirt for the Bulldogs, Vanessa Poliaki. She's recently. Welcome, knowledge.
Turn off your commentary. Turn off the TV. the sound.
I'll just turn it down a bit now.
All right, the Bulldogs in a golden opportunity with the they're just 15 out. Here's Teakaaranga-Katoa. Prize waiting at dummy half. It is another penalty to the Bulldogs. What do you do here, Liam? Do you take the 2 and go up by 6?
Yeah, I would go. I'll take the 2 if I was the Bulldogs. But it looks like they elected to go for the tap, Jesse.
And Pryor will take the tap. Here's Tauaneai. Gets to within 5 metres of the line. Clydesdale brings her down with the help of Kirkpatrick. Pryor's the dummy half. Teakaaranga-Katoa finds Wheeler, the veteran. McEwen holds her from going any further. Preston, the show and go. Tayla Preston showed it to Smythe, but wasn't fooling the Knights defenders there. Betty Walsh brings her back. Prior to Teakaaranga-Katoa, she'll be hard to stop from here. The Knights do well there, though. Pryor is the dummy half to Preston. Preston finds Quinlan. Quinlan already has 1 try in this game, looking for 2. That was Hopewadi. They are going upstairs to the bunker. What do you think of this one, Liam? It looks like it's a no try.
I'm looking at the replay now, so I'm just trying to order dinner.
Hopewadi.
Yeah, that's a no try. She was held up, Jesse. She was held up and then pushed back into the field of play.
That's twice this game. Hopewadi's been held up over the line. Desperate goal line defence there from the Knights, Liam.
Oh, definitely, Jesse. They're trying to stop the Bulldogs from scoring more points in their debut game. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulldogs score another try here.
This is their last tackle. Pryor's the dummy half. Gets the ball away to Wheeler. Wheeler's trying to get the arm free and get the ball down, but the Knights do hang on. There's still 23 minutes to go in this game. And is the Bulldogs leading by 10 points to 6? And Parker, Shatnese Parker, runs it out for the Knights. Now that's Tenika Willison for the Knights, takes it up to the 20. Now to Clydesdale, the skipper. Taken there by Wheeler and Tauaneai and Preston. 30 out from their own line. Patrick, the dummy half. She runs from dummy half, finds Roche, gets it away to Willison. But there was 2 Bulldogs players right on top of her, so she had nowhere to go. White, here's Roche. Now to Romanak. And Romanak's taken by Teakaaranga-Katoa and Hopewadi, as well as Wheeler. And they are appealing for a penalty here for the Knights. That it is a knock-on against the Newcastle Knights. Too many errors creeping into their game. They won't be happy with that one, Liam.
Definitely not.
The Bulldogs back in their own half.
Oh, hang on. What's going on here? I think they're challenging it.
So it is a challenge from Kayla Romanak. Is there a knock-on from Kayla Romanak here? Yes, it is. She is appealing, though, that Hopewadi did not get out of the way. You're our referee's expert, Liam. They've ruled in favour of the Bulldogs. Do you think the bunker did get that call right? She dropped the ball before the play the ball.
Yeah, I think the bunker ruled it right, Jesse. She totally dropped it before she could even play it. So it's a knock-on against Newcastle.
So 22 minutes to go in this game. Hopewadi to Pryor. Pryor to Wheeler. And Wheeler gets the Dogs within 20 metres of the line. No change to the halftime score. It is still the Bulldogs 10, the Knights 6. Preston, Teakaaranga-Katoa. Just 22 metres out. Pryor, Preston to Wheeler. Wheeler runs straight into Kirkpatrick and McEwen. Wheeler will play it to Pryor. Pryor to Preston. Preston to Smythe. Letitia Smythe keeps the legs driving. But Shanice Parker brings her down. Last tackle for the Dogs. Smythe will play it back to Quinlan. Quinlan finds Tayla Preston. Tayla Preston will grub her. And it's gone over the head. It's been picked up. It's been picked up by Teakaaranga-Katoa. Yasmin Clydsdale had no idea what was going on over the head of her. And Teakaaranga-Katoa scores to give the Bulldogs an 8-point lead.
The Bulldogs are all over the Newcastle Knights just in their debut. It's good to see.
But nice, clever kick there from Tayla Preston. Bounced over the head of Yasmin Clydsdale and
it bounced off the pads.
Straight into Teakaaranga-Katoa. And the new co-captain for the Bulldogs has their third try.
You mean third try, sorry, yep.
The Dragons taught her everything she knew, though, doesn't she? Didn't they, Scoop? The Dragons taught her everything she knows.
Oh, definitely. Because we always live... Look at Braden Liame celebrating.
His first coaching gig.
I think he retired after...
Rugby in France.
Yeah, rugby, which was 22, I think he retired from rugby.
And Tayla Preston, they taught the Dogs 10 in front, they do. It's a big task now for the Knights to come back from this. The Dogs lead by 10 with less than 20 to go.
Yeah, I don't see Newcastle coming back from this, Jesse. I hate to say it, but I think I've got the Bulldogs to win. The underdogs they are. The general manager up in the box would be happy and Phil Gus Gould.
Yep, in their first ever game. And the Knights get the ball play back underway. The ball has bounced, and it is set up for the try scorer in Teakaaranga-Katoa. So 16 points to 6 now. As Wheeler runs it up. Taken down by Romanek and Kirkpatrick. Wheeler plays it back to Pryor. Pryor to Hopewadi. And Hopewadi, hasn't she had a big game off the bench, Liam?
Oh, definitely, Jesse. The Hopewadis are breeding like rabbits, Jesse, in the NRL, in both the NRL and the NRLW. They're like the most famous family name in competing at this highest level in the sport.
A Smythe. That's with Quinlan there for the Dogs. We know her brother, Pani Hopewadi, her brother is the Manly fullback, Lehigh. Oh, the Knights will let the ball bounce. It's been picked up by one shell. Away to Tauaneai. And the Bulldogs have their fourth try. It's a room service bounce. And that might be the ball game. It is 20-6. Soon to be 22. As Gus Gould would say, if you let the ball bounce, you bring disappointment into life. What a kick from Tayla Preston.
You can turn the lights off now, Bulldogs fans. You guys have won against the Newcastle Knights. Shut the gates. Shut the gates. Stop whatever you're doing. You can turn off the lights and watch this game in complete darkness in the movie theater or something, because the Bulldogs are going wild. They're on fire, Jesse.
And it's the debutant that scores, Tauaneai. What a moment for her. Her first NRLW game, and she caps it off with a try. And the Bulldogs are jumping for joy.
Well, they should be, Jesse, because a lot of people tipped the Newcastle Knights to win, but me, I went for the underdogs.
And Tayla Preston adds the extra. It's still 17 minutes remaining. The Bulldogs 22, the Knights 6.
Yeah, I believe Tayla Preston is related to Jacob Preston. I think is her brother, in the same club, Jesse.
Talking about, there was an article today on eligibility, as we saw the earlier in the year, we saw the Gillaroos play England in Vegas. And we saw the Gillaroos absolutely cream England 90 points to 4. But there is calls that they drop the Tier 1 nations rule to allow players like Tayla Preston and Jocelyn Keller from the Roosters to go and represent England. But that gives them they lose the opportunity to represent the Gillaroos. What's your take on players with that English heritage to go and play for England and try and get them competitive with the Gillaroos?
Well, I have to agree with most of the experts on this, Jesse. Get rid of the tier system for both men's and women's. It's absolutely rubbish. It's useless now these days. Just get rid of the bloody tier systems because for me, it also impacts me. For example, if I want to play in the NRL and I want to play for both the Blues, Australia and England, because my mum's side is from Australia here and my dad's side was from England, and I was born and grew up in Australia, but I also want to represent my dad's side. So I'm agreeing with most of the experts, with Andrew Johns and everyone else. Scrap the tier system, get rid of that. Look how good the international game is growing, Jesse.
And you don't want to see Australia win all the time. No, you don't want to take anything away from Australia, but you want to see that other nations become competitive as well.
Yeah, scrap the tier system, Jesse. It's absolutely ridiculous.
As the Knights trying to work it quack into this game, it's with Davison. They're 30 out from the line. The Knights. What can they do if they're going to come back? It's all on that player, Southwell. Betty Welsh is away. Betty Welsh over the top of Andy Robinson.
What a comeback!
First try as a Newcastle Knight, and there's a try celebration to go with it. The Knights aren't done with yet.
Well, it looks like there's no try celebration for Newcastle this time, Jesse.
There was.
High five.
Did you see the little Kiwi thing?
I totally missed that. I was.
Check the replay right here. Here we go. Betty Welch is a Kiwi, so just watch for her little move at the end.
Oh, yep. Now you can see it.
So, yeah, she's another player that she can't represent New Zealand as she's already played for New South Wales and Australia. Bo Betty Welsh, this is her 5th club.
I believe she played for Dragons.
She's played in a grand final with 3 different clubs, with the Dragons, the Eels, and the Roosters. Co-captain of the Tigers in their inaugural season and last year as well. As Southwell has nailed it. It is 22-12. The Knights aren't done with yet.
I wouldn't get too cocky, Jesse, but I think I still got the Bulldogs to win quite comfortably in this game.
But yeah, a much needed try, and Betty Welsh been pretty good on her debut for the Knights and her club debut, and gets an important try to get them back in this game. But they'll need another try very soon. They can't afford to let another Canterbury try in. As Preston will start proceedings back again. Her 3rd club in NRLW, Tayla Preston, after stints with Parramatta and Cronulla, is Teakaaranga-Katoa, and she's driven back by Monschau, and that's McEwen. The Knights with Morris. Here is Teakaaranga, taken down there by Lokatui. Morris, Romanak is Rosh to Willison. Willison met and driven back by Tauaneai. Bridget Hoibert's her as well. Morris now to Clydesdale. Clydesdale gets the offload back and it's picked up there by Willison. 4th tackle for the Knights. Morris to Southwell. Southwell goes to the sky. She's got some spiral on that one, but Andy Robinson does well, takes it on the full. She's been great at the back tonight for the Dogs, Andy Robinson. Hey, Liam.
Oh, definitely she has, Jesse. But the one person I would have to give it to is maybe Preston as well, because she's been spot on with her kicking.
As the Bulldogs work it out with Bilecki, hasn't had many runs in this game so far tonight. 13 minutes remaining. It is the Knights trailing the Bulldogs 22 points to 12. Here's Tauaneai. Keeps that legs pumping. The drive is there. Tries to get the arm free. Holly Wheeler screaming for the ball there. But Tauaneai will play it back to Ebony Pryor. Finds. That's Teakaaranga-Katoa. They're 30 out from the line. The Bulldogs. Pryor. Tayla Preston. Kicking towards the wing of Sheridan Gallagher. And Sheridan Gallagher does well there. Takes it on the full. Taken down there by Bilecki and Smythe. Southwell. Here's Parker. Parker taken there by Pryor. Southwell. And that's Gallagher. Her second run in this set. Tackled there by Quinlan and Smythe. Here's Parker again. Another run for her in this set. Quinlan brings her down with the help of Wheeler. Morris. Southwell. Oh, that was Romanak, in fact. Back to Southwell. Southwell to Roche. Roche gets it away to Willison. Willison is away for the Knights. Oh, she's been dragged down by behind from Hoy. Here they come, the Knights. It is with Roche. Roche goes to the sky. And not a great end to that set as Andy Robinson takes it. It promised so much there, the Knights, but they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, isn't Bridget Hoy related to Tex Hoy or something, Jesse?
I'm not too sure on that one. Have to check that one out. Former Brisbane Bronco is Bridget Hoy. As the Knights are with it. No, it is a penalty of the Bulldogs. Clydesdale was running away, but the Bulldogs have got the penalty for a strip as Teakaaranga-Katoa comes off for a well-deserved rest. The former Dragon has been enormous for the Dogs in this game, Liam.
Oh, definitely.
As Tayla Preston will kick for the sideline as we tick closer to the final 10 minutes of this game. Can the Bulldogs hang on for their first ever win in NRLW? Or will the Knights make a comeback? And here is Lokatui over the 40. Driven back there by Davison. Pryor's the dummy half. Pryor finds Shanice Monshare, the two sisters for the Bulldogs there. So Shakayla and Shanice. Here's Wheeler. Finds Tegan Dimmick. Pryor's the dummy half to Wheeler. Wheeler gets over the 30. Good strong run from the 34-year-old there. Here's Ebony Pryor at dummy half. Runs from dummy half. Morris and Clydesdale bring her down. They're 15 from the line. The Dogs' last tackle. What have they got up their sleeve? Quinlan, the dummy half. Preston, the cutout pass to Robinson. And Robinson will die with it on the last tackle. Taken there by Roach, Willison, and White. And Roche at dummy half finds... That is Lillian White for the Knights. They'll need to do something fast here if the Knights have any chance of winning this. Roche finds Shanice Parker. And Shanice Parker's taken it to the ground there by Tegan Dimmick with the help of Holly Wheeler. Roche finds Gallagher. And Gallagher gets it over the 30. Morris is the dummy half. Davison tries to get the arm free, but she's wrapped up there by Dimmick. Pryor and Wheeler help to bring her down. Morris, the dummy half, fourth tackle for the Knights. Southwell goes for a low kick. Her leg got taken down there, but she got the kick away anyway. Balecki is back there to run it back for the Dogs. 8.5 to go. Time is running out for the Knights, Liam.
If they don't pick up the pace now, Jesse, I wouldn't be surprised if Jesse Southwell begins to lack towards the end of this game. So she's going to have to step up now and begin to guide the team around now.
As the Bulldogs
otherwise, the Bulldogs are all over the Newcastle Knights.
And that was Hopewadi. Here's Tegan Dimmick. Tackled there by her opposite number, Tiana Davison. Clydesdale comes in over the top. Last tackle for the Bulldogs. Pryor, Preston with the step. Preston with the grubber.
Oh, knock on.
Knocked back by Betty Welsh, but Gallagher gets back in the field of play. Only just.
Knock on by Newcastle.
Ziggy has ruled a knock on against Betty Welsh. Let's have a look at the replay. It looked like a knockback there.
No, I've got to knock on first. And it's a shame they can't challenge it because they've already lost their captain's challenge.
Yep. That might be their very last roll of the dice. If the Bulldogs can put the icing on the cake, if they can get one here. Pryor's at the back of the scrum. Finds Andy Robinson. Willison and Romanak and Roche bring her down. Takes a few attempts, but they do it. Robinson plays back to Pryor. Pryor finds... that's Tauaneai. Pryor, Wheeler to Preston. Preston finds Letitia Smythe.
Ooh. She was close.
McEwen gets her just from dummy half Quinlan, and that'll be it. The Bulldogs will have their first ever win. That is game, set, and match, and that is a double to Ash Quinlan.
What a brilliant... They did like a wombat move out of dummy half. Get over the try line.
The Knights,
that's a try to the Bulldogs.
The Knights just stood there. That was poor defense for the Knights.
Oh, definitely. They don't have Hannah Southwell there anymore, help guarding the Knights.
And Tamika Upton.
And to make her up, then yeah, they lost two big key players in the off-season, Jesse.
Yep, and Ash Quinlan gets a double, and that gives the Bulldogs their first ever win in NRLW. Well done to the Bulldogs. They've been the better side, and they deserve this win, and they get 2 points.
And I believe that pushes them to the top of the ladder.
Ladder doesn't matter at this point in time. But what a moment. The Dogs have their first win in the NRLW in their first ever game. And they've done it pretty convincingly. There's still 5 minutes remaining as Tayla Preston looks to make it 28-12. Tayla Preston to line it up. And Tayla Preston has missed it. But it's still that's still game, set, and match, though. You'd have to think no time the Knights are coming back from that one. The Bulldogs, they look like they could be a smoky in this competition this year. They'll beat a lot of sides.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens this year, Jesse. There's been a lot of player movements during the off-season, some big-name signings and key losses for each of the teams this year for the women's.
Yep, the Bulldogs do look good. As one of our podcast members, Youngie, wants to know if we hate the NRLW Bulldogs too.
Well, we still haven't played them yet, Youngie, so you're going to have to wait.
We do play them in a couple of weeks, so that'll be a double header with the men at a core stadium as well. So a couple of weeks' time, it's an NRL and NRLW double header at a core stadium. And it will be again next week as well when we face the Roosters at Cogra. as Monshao finds Wheeler. Mahakitai Monshao is back on there in 14 for the Dogs. Preston, here's Tauaneai. Can the Dogs get another try? What a night for them. What a moment.
I would not be surprised if they get another try before full time, Jesse.
Andy Robertson, here's Moana Courtenay, shrugs off Tenika Willison, gets to within 10 of the line. It's with Bridget Hoy, now to Monshao. Here is Preston. Preston with the grubber. Southwell grounds it.
Knock
Has
on.
no choice. Southwell has
Goal
grounded
line
it.
chop out.
Tayla Preston, her kicking game's been pinpoint tonight.
She
Definitely won the battle with Jesse Southwell.
what a
Southwell's gone short, drop out. Knock on there from Canterbury, you'd think.
No, it's gone back by Canterbury.
Anyway,
the Canterbury played.
Hopawati.
Players going down, cramping out, Jesse.
It's been knocked back there by Tegan Dimmick. She's appealing. It's gone back, but the referee has not ruled that. But it is a captain's challenge for the Dogs. 3 minutes to go. The game's in the bag for the Dogs. As there's the coach, Braden Williami. What a moment for him. His first game as a coach, and he's a winner.
Well, I would like to say
that is a fair
congratulations to the coach. Oh, it looks like there's a flop there, Jesse. A Nathan Hindmarsh move.
So a bit of history made too. Not many clubs have won their first ever game in NRLW. So the Bulldogs have done that. So they join teams like the Sharks and the Eels. Sharks, Eels, the Broncos, and the Warriors. All to get wins in their debut game, as well as the Tigers. Preston with the grubber, but it's picked up there by Kayla Romanak inside the last 3 minutes of this game. And the Bulldogs just drive Shanice Parker back. Some great defense there from the Dogs. Shanice Parker plays it back to Jesse Southwell. Here is Eva McEwen. Eva McEwen gets over the 10. But the Bulldogs aren't letting her go anywhere. Third tackle. The Knights are going nowhere. Here's Lillian White. Just short of the 20. Tremendous defense from the Bulldogs in this set. Fourth tackle for them now, the Knights. Morris. Here's Southwell. Southwell to Clydesdale. Clydesdale met front on by Tayla Preston with the help of Tegan Dimmick. Last tackle. Morris. Southwell. Charge down. It's come back to Tenika Willison. Still the last tackle for the Knights. And Willison will die with the ball. Will it be a 6 again? It will be 6 again. Morris to Clydesdale. Clydesdale to Lillian White. Lillian White's away down the left wing. She gets past Tegan Dimmick. Can she do it all the way? She's still going. Lillian White gets the offload away. And Jolie, it's a forward pass. It is a forward pass from Lillian White. It would have been to no avail, though. As a lot of players are coming up with cramp, as you mentioned just before, Liam. But the Knights blew a golden opportunity there. Oh, that was a dodgy call. It didn't look like it was a forward pass. Anyway, this will be probably the last set of the game for the Dogs as Lokatui with the ball. Quinlan's a dummy half. That's with Shanice Monshao for the Dogs. Plays it back to, I think it's her sister, in Shaquila Mahakitau Monshao. Tackled there by Shanice Parker. Ash Quinlan finds Hopawati. Hopawati's been enormous. Gets it away to Wheeler. Wheeler still keeps it going for the Dogs. Mahakito Monshao's the dummy half. Here's Tegan Dimmick. Tegan Dimmick inches closer towards the halfway line. 39 seconds remaining. Mahiketai Monshao. Tayla Preston on the last. She'll kick. And it is down the throat of Lillianne White. And Lillianne White will bring it back. There's Gus Gould looking on. He'd be one proud man there. Jesse Southwell to Sheridan Gallagher. Disappointing loss for the Newcastle Knights, but they've been outplayed by the Bulldogs tonight. No doubts about that. Southwell from dummy half, the show and go. Long cutout pass, but it's intercepted by Bilecki. Bilecki gets it away to Lokatui. It's intercepted by Gallagher, and Gallagher's away for the Knights. Gallagher finds some room to move, but Andy Robinson will bring her down, and that will be full time. And well done to the Bulldogs, Liam. They are winners in their debut game in NRLW. What a moment for the Bulldogs. They've won 26 points to 12. It's a statement from them. In their first ever game, they have taken down the two-time champions, the Newcastle Knights. It is a new look Newcastle Knights in season 2025. But the newest team in the competition, the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs, are winners in their inaugural game, 26 points to 12. You picked that the Bulldogs would go on with the convincing win in the second half, and they've done exactly that, winning the second half by 16 points to 6. Bulldogs 26, the Knights 12. A well-deserved win there for the Bulldogs. As you picked it at halftime, they've gone on with it, the Dogs, Liam.
Yeah, they were just too impressive in their first game against a kind of weakened Newcastle Knights outfit, Jesse.
Yep, but what my player of the match, woman of the match, goes to the young girl on screen. I'm going to get my woman of the match goes to Andy Robinson. I'm not sure about you, but she was enormous for them at the back.
Me, I was tossing up between her and Tayla Preston. But I would have to agree with you. I would go with Robinson as my player of the match.
Yep, and yeah, first game at the back, but she was enormous. And it's a big moment for the Canterbury club as well to get their first win. And it was a real physical game, but the Dogs, if they play like that, they could jag their fair share of wins this year. And what a moment would be if they make the finals in their first year, Liam.
I would not be surprised just if they play finals in their debut year. And maybe if they play really well, they could go all the way.
Yep. And disappointed Jesse Southwell there. It's her year to step up for the Knights. We still forget she's still only 20 years of age, but she's done so much in the game already. But I wouldn't be writing off the Knights just yet. They've got a different team. It may take them sometimes to develop combinations. They've got a handy player coming back in the next couple of weeks in Olivia Higgins. She's a very serviceable dummy half, has rep experience. So it may take the Knights time to develop those combinations, but I wouldn't be writing them off just yet, Liam. The Knights, they can be a force in this comp still.
Yeah, I wouldn't write them off either, Jesse.
Yeah. Obviously, the Knights their players disappointed that they've lost that game. First game is for Yasmin Clydsdale as the new Newcastle Knights skipper. Would be a hard moment for her, but yeah. But Jesse Southwell, yep. Big moment for her, but yeah, the Bulldogs, they celebrate that. They'll enjoy this win. What a moment for them. And they won their first ever game in NRLW. And it is a great moment for the women's game to see them get their first win. It would be even better if the Warriors can score somehow, get an upset win over the Premiers, the Roosters on Sunday, Liam. If the Warriors can pull that off.
I wouldn't be surprised, Jesse. We'll just have to wait and see what the Warriors do against the Roosters.
Yep. So they'll be coached by two-time Newcastle Knights premiership winning coach Ron Griffiths. So he does know how to assemble a side.
Definitely.
He's another player on screen that was strong, over 200 metres as well. We know what the Bulldogs are getting from Teakaaranga-Katoa. She was doing this week in, week out for the Dragons, and as we said again, a huge loss for the Dragons. It's a gain for the Bulldogs.
Mm.
And she capped it off with a try. She gets my 2 points for that game as well. But anyway, that's where we'll love and leave you. We'll thank you for joining us this evening. For those that have been watching in the comments and in the live stream, we will do this again sometime soon. We'll just keep an eye on the socials. We'll let you know when we do it once again. But congratulations to the Bulldogs. They've got a win in their debut game. Their next game will be on Thursday night against the West Tigers out at Campbelltown, Liam. So early tip for them. But at the moment, it's a young Tigers side. But early tip would have to be the Bulldogs to go back to back.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going with Bulldogs back to back.
Yep. But congratulations to them, and thank you for joining us tonight. Until next time, it's good night.
And good night from me.
Coco is at Pell's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Muzz tells tales of Dragons wins and tuna victory. Tony and the MD crew will do their very best. Hitting up topic and I digress with a red bee on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie. Navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big wet bees. And so our peddlers speak the tales and our friendship is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast, under